Morning, good day traders. Welcome back by a new YouTube video. Everything is based on price. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. I think it's very critical to understand that this complete market is based on price. It's also very critical to understand if you're buying and selling at certain points that you're understanding why you're buying and why you're selling at a certain point. You need a clue behind it, okay? Because you're putting your money in this market, you're putting your money at risk. And that is a thing that I teach in the community as well. It's very important to understand those price areas, okay? Where big orders are located from banks and financial institutions. They are running the market. We not as retail trader, we are just a little piece of the complete picture, and we ain't moving this market, they do. So you want to understand at what points price is moving and why it's moving. Simple to say, we look into certain price areas, supply and demand areas, where those big financial institutions, banks, placing their orders, and we could benefit from that. That perspective, that's most critical. That's the most critical point. Once you understand that everything is based on price, action, price, and orders, you will get a different vision, okay, on this complete market. So you're not simply buying right or selling right here or buying right here because it's a breakout. Or it's a resistant level, because why you are buying or selling around from a line where you have no clue about. So if you bring that in perspective, your vision will definitely change. I'm gonna give you a few examples on gold. For example, we're looking to gold on the bigger picture, the 4H picture / daily. You can see on the daily gold was heavily bearish, with of course corrections. So yeah, you're seeing the overall conditions are bearish on this bigger picture. If you move to the 4H, you can see the legs to the downside and then the corrections, legs to the downside, corrections, which is pretty straightforward. This push and all those moves happening because there are enough sellers and buyers in this market, okay? This is what you have to understand. And price is turning back to certain levels to grab more orders, grab more liquidity, and continue the trip, okay? So you have to see it like you're driving a car for 1,000 miles, and you need gas, Every time you need gas to fill the tank to continue the trip. This is also what you see happening right here. Each time the price is pulling back, there are more orders attracted, and then price continue the trip to the downside. For example, what you're seeing right here, because the moves to the downside are larger than the moves to the upside. So this is overall seller's market conditions, okay? This is a simple explanation. Okay, within these levels, you will find critical turning points. If you're using your brains and your eyes, you see certain levels where price is trading back to, okay? For example, right here, you see a nice supply level. You see a leg to the downside right here. You see a turn back to this level before the big movers happen. So all the gas is tanked right here to continue the trip to the downside. And there was a large move to the downside. Bigger picture, there is nothing wrong with trading counter moves. So don't understand me wrong. But to give you an idea why this market is moving to the up or to the downside. And this is the thing you have to understand. I also got the question a lot on Instagram most of the time. My trader in the community knows I teach everything pretty detailed. What is the best time frame to trade off? To be honest, there is no the best time frame to trade off. Once you're putting that in perspective, that price, that everything is based on price, there are no perfect time frames. But it is very important to get that that understanding of why price is moving in certain directions, you know, it's really critical. Otherwise, it's like gambling, you know, it's like gambling. And this market is not a casino. So once you print that in your mind and put that rule on paper, hang it on your laptop, or think that everything is based on price and why is price moving back to certain levels. Okay, and this is the first example that I gave you. A second example you can see right here. Okay, that this is also an interesting area right here. Okay, again we made a nice leg to the downside. Okay, after that you saw a turning point back to this level, so price was trading back to this level, new grab of orders and sellers, you know. Interesting level right here. I long it a week ago from this level, around this edge, you know. This is a valid base, this is a valid level of the month. Okay, and that was the month right here. You can also see it happening right here. You see that push away, you see that last turning point back, big liquidity move right here, and after that price turned back to the downside. Okay, you see candles from the same sizes right here pushing in one direction. Okay, after that you see that price is trading to the downside, pushing to the low right here, and you can see if you're putting a line right here as well, whatever you want to call it. I call it a baseline, but you can also call it an yeah, some people will say it's a support line, whatever, you know. You can see that you have the information that price was pushing to the downside from a supply level to a demand level, so that filled that entire range over the days. You can see candles from the same size and the same height right here. You see a little bit stalling, 2 levels, and then you see 1, 2, 3, and then we tapping in this base. You see a deep spike within this level. You can see it right here. It's a deep spike. Okay, if you look into a lower time frame perspective, and after that you see prices stalling. So there is something happening within this level. Okay, everything is based on price. Remember that. You can see it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. You got 5 in total, 20 hours of stalling within this level. So what's happening within this level? This is simply an order grab. Okay, liquidity move to grab all those orders in this valid demand level to push the price again in the other direction to fill all these orders. I will give you another hint. You can also see that this is a 1680 level. Most financial institutions looking at round numbers to buying and selling at certain levels. Okay, so that's really critical, because it's a good price to buy or to sell off. You know, you have to imagine that visualize that in your mind. It's a round number. It's at the valid supply and demand area. What's going to happen in this area? How is price reacting to this level? So read the candles, read the informations. Okay, you can have a lot of fancy support and resistance line on your chart, but if you have no clue why you're buying or selling on a certain level, that makes no sense. It's like gambling, you know. Second thing that I want to give you right here, we had that nice supply level up front right here. You can also see that price, if you move into the hourly, that price made a nice leg to the downside. Okay, I'm not saying price will fall for another 100 pips to the downside, because you only need a little piece of the pie, but it did a lot of pips. It fell almost for 100 to 200 pips, so there was a pretty nice range. And why is price reacting to this level? You can see this low right here. We never took this out, and price rejected it, so now we have the pullback again. So your targets in the market are also pretty important to understand, you know. So there was a nice trade. I took a nice short of this as well, posted it on the social medias as well. So a lot of traders of you know that already. Yeah, so understanding price action, it's pretty important. Understand price, read the candles, and yeah, remember everything is based on price. For example, we'll give you another example on USD30. Again, move to the higher time frames. If you see the daily in the 4-hour, this is overall a bullish market. So bullish conditions. There are a lot of buyers in this market that are willing to buy at a good price at certain levels. Okay. Again, everything is based on price. But you need to identify those levels. Okay. You have an interesting level right here. Okay. This is a valid level. Okay. This is not the nicest price action, but you can see that price have never broke to this level. Okay. This is a valid month level. So this is a level where the big players in the market are willing to buy. Okay. This is also what you see happening right here. This is USD30. So you can do it on anything: gold, USD30, crypto. We come with crypto later as well. I will give you one crypto example too. So yeah, this is simply an interesting level, and we never broke this level. We grab all the liquidity in this level to push the price further up. So more than likely we get another pullback at certain levels. For example, right here, at a good price, at also a round number, to push the price further up. Okay, that's an idea. Most turning points are on the 4H and daily. It's also a tip that I give you. So if you're mapping out your major levels, the higher time frames are key in that to possible shifts in momentum. Okay, but on this market conditions, it's smartest to buy this market instead of selling, because this is overall on buyer's market. Okay, so you're willing to buy, and then you have a higher chance of success if you're following the big boys with the overall orders that are simply bulls. Okay, buyers. Crypto. Okay, another example on crypto. XRP is moving nicely in the last days / weeks / months. BTC, same stuff, same stuff. So you're seeing certain levels in the markets where, again, nice orders are located. Okay, people are willing to buy, people are willing to sell. Right here, you see it happening as well. We see simply an order grab right here, price push to the upside. XRP, same stuff happening right here. After a nice rally to the upside, you see a correction of price, turning back to this base, turning back to these levels. Price start to reject, exhaust. So we simply feel to break to the downside. Pretty nice, interesting level as well. Check out these numbers right here. And if you move into the lower time frame, you can see there is a lot of rejection within this level. Okay, so this is simply a continuation ID, what you're seeing right here. Okay, so yeah, I think it's very important, and less people talking about it. So this is why I decided to create a little video like this to give you an idea and a perspective. What's happening in this market, and putting yourself in the best position possible. Be aware of those price areas, reading price in a proper way. What are the candles are telling you, because that is the information that we have, on the screens. And we as retail traders simply have to follow those price areas, reading those price areas. So don't be too quick with buying and selling on a supported resistant level. Got the question also a lot from Kev, trading supporting resistance / supply in a month. It's the same. No, it's not the same. It's a complete different concept. Supporting resistant levels are simply historical price areas where most retail traders are focusing on to buying or selling the breakout. And supply in a month areas are simply to say order levels where orders are located from financial institutions / banks, where we can put everything on perspective, following those waves. I will not go too deep into it because it's all explained in the education as well. But yeah, now you're having a little ID, especially for new traders or even advanced traders that still have their errors or failures. We all have them, of course, because nobody's perfect. But I think it's critical to put yourself in the best position possible within this 5-6 trillion market a day, you know, because you can really make money in it if you be smart enough, you know. And I think also a critical point is to keep the focus on yourself, you know, keep the focus on yourself. That's really important. And there's also where the growth happening, you know, it really is. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this little video. It's not too long. It's just some critical information that you can observe and take notes of. And yeah, we keep in touch. Much love. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.